What's going on, everybody? For those that don't know me, my name is Miguel. What I do is I help service-based businesses add an extra $25,000 with content and meta ads. So the focus of today's video is to explain the reasoning behind even running Facebook ads, what to do, why it works, and how you can implement it yourself. And then what do you do after you get a lead? Because a lot of times that marketing agencies will get you leads, but then you're kind of left with what do you do afterwards. So we'll get right into it. Now, regardless of what you do, either Facebook or Instagram ads, they're practically the same thing. So the goal with running Facebook or Instagram ads is to get the attention of somebody that's on scrolling. And what we call that is pattern interruption ad. Now, there's ways to get attention of your ideal buyer, your ideal customer, and there's ways that we can do it. So it's either educational, entertaining, or offer driven. When you go the educational route, you want to explain what your service is, and most importantly, explain why the service is needed. If you go the entertaining route, create a story, explain how someone had a bad experience with another business and how you made it right and how you solved it. Another way you can go is an offer driven route, which shows a compelling offer that the customer feels stupid saying no to. So you want to create some sale, some urgency, something as simple as like a summer sale, bundle deal, a discount, or one spot left. Regardless of whatever you go with, whether it's educational, entertaining, or the offer-driven route, the whole goal is just to get them to the next step. In this case, when you're running an ad, it's to get the person to engage with the ad, to like, fill out the form, or share. Now, with every business, regardless of what you're selling, you're going to have impulse buyers, but not everyone is going to buy from the first time seeing an ad. So you need about 11 touch points before somebody actually buys. So that can be from seeing the ad for the first time, looking at your IG or your Facebook page, looking at your Google profile, or getting repeated texts from your business or even calls. At this point, somebody has engaged with the ad but hasn't bought. So what do we do after they've engaged but haven't bought? And that's going to come from a retargeting ad. For example, what we can do in a retargeting ad is throw the offer right then and there. So once they're actually interested, we'll then retarget them with an offer. So for example, you want to create an offer that they can't refuse, has to be focused on the outcome. For example, if you're doing a ceramic coating, you do free one-step paint correction plus a 5-year ceramic coating. Normally we do $1,600, but for the next couple people, we'll do it for $997. Once we have a solid offer that people are clicking, you're going to want to qualify your prospects, because just because somebody filled out a form does not mean they have the money to buy. And you don't want to deal with price shoppers, people who are going to waste your time, or people who can't afford the service in general. So you do that on 3 things, based on their budget, their timeline, and their interest level. And once you filter out for people that are serious, that have the money, and are actually interested, what this leaves you with is people that are actually ready to buy, and filter out people that are just time wasters. The question you may be thinking to yourself, Miguel, I'm getting all these leads, so what is it that I do right after I get a lead? Right after you get a lead, what you want to do is a follow-up system. So as soon as the lead fills out the form, what you want to do is call them as soon as they fill out the form. Now you might be thinking about, what if my team is too busy, or how do I get in touch with them? So what I recommend is have the CRM, such as Go High Level, notify your team when a lead is interested, and send them an instant text acknowledging that you saw their interest. This is so simple, but it often gets overlooked. Brandon was able to increase his sales by 35% just by calling his leads within 5 minutes. It just goes to show that speed of lead in this game is everything. But let's just say a lead doesn't answer. Do you give up on the lead, or do you just assume that the lead is no longer interested? Absolutely not. People are busy, people forget, they just need to be reminded. If a lead hasn't said stop calling me, you're not following up enough. What's the proper sequence of following up? So day 1, a lead comes in, call a lead within 5 minutes. If you can't, at least leave a text. Something as simple as saying, hey, so-and-so, I noticed you filled out a form about our XYZ services for your type of car. If the lead hasn't responded after day 1, this is what you can do day 2. Call a lead at a different time. So instead of calling them at 10 a.m., call them at 4 p.m. Maybe they're out grocery shopping and then you catch them at a good time. Then the next day, text the lead first instead of calling them. If they don't respond, leave them a personalized voicemail. Day 4, call the lead at a different time, and you're just going to repeat another personalized text. You're going to repeat this until they either answer you or they tell you I'm no longer interested. Please stop reaching out. If it's been over a month and they still haven't answered, what I recommend to do is a reactivation campaign. Basically, this is where you take all your leads that are not interested and then you send them a text blast with an offer and a sale. The reason that this whole system works is because most people give up as soon as the lead doesn't answer. If you call a lead once, you text them and they don't answer, most business owners will automatically assume that the lead is dead. But this is only part of the truth. If you stop right here, you're missing out on all the potential revenue that you could have made from following up multiple times. So at this point, you're probably thinking, Miguel, I get it. Where should I go from here? How do I implement this? What I want you to do is check out my Instagram page, and I basically explain to you how to use content and how to use meta ads so that you can actually grow your business. And if you have run meta ads in the past, you're like, Miguel, I don't know what I'm doing. I've used the marketing agency before and they gave me crappy leads. What I want you to do is check out my Instagram page. I explain to you what you're experiencing and why you're experiencing it.